Thank you so much for joining me today. It is the brand new Chinese New Year, right? The year of the water tiger. So instantly I think of lots of energy, but with a bit of flow to it. And that kind of fits in perfectly for me with what I need in my body, which is I need to get a little bit of energy up and a little bit of motivation, but I want to keep my breath in the mix. I want to keep my flexibility as a for in the foreground. So I think that was sort of what I was thinking today with the beginning of February. It's also a new moon, so a good time to sort of get started with some motivating practices today. And, we're going to do our usual template, right? Centering, breathing, stretching, warm up, standing poses, and warm down relaxation practices. All of these tools are things that you can take as a little snack and use individually to maintain some consistency throughout your week when we're not meeting together in person. So if there's anything that really strikes you today as something that makes you feel good or more present or whatever your goal is for yoga, see if you can make a mental note and revisit that practice, whatever it is. Maybe it's a breath practice. Maybe it's one small movement that feels really good in your body, or maybe it's meditation. So offering that as an idea for you to get motivated for February, to stay consistent for February, to keep our energy up, right? And knowing that we can apply yoga to every day, no matter how we're feeling. If energetically we're really low in energy, or we're having a lot of symptoms, whatever it is we're managing, we can still practice a breath exercise. Or we're on total green light mode. We can do you do more challenging balance poses, for example. That might be something you could do on a green light day. So why don't we get started? I always have to start my day with a gentle practice to sort of assess what type of day am I having? Am I having a high energy day, or are there things I need to be aware of? And so this is this is one of the best parts of yoga, and what we hope to achieve with yoga is developing awareness and then making good decisions based on what we find. So let's come to sit. If it's in your practice and you feel like adding a layer of embodiment, you can squeeze a block between the legs. All right, and I'm just going to check one thing here. All right, we're coming back with a little bit of a better audio situation. With the block between the legs, feet on the earth, just getting settled, knowing that, we're just here in whatever state of being we're in. And that goes for me too, kind of flustered by some technical issues this morning. So I'm going to need this centering breath practice more than ever. So I'll just come to notice my feet on the earth. Take a moment to notice my spine, nice tall spine. See if I can allow my shoulders to relax and let go a little bit. Yeah, if you want to make a shoulder roll or two, if that's helpful. And then allowing the jaw to relax. Noticing the positioning of your head. Are you kind of tucking your chin? Would you like to bring your chin level with the earth for the best alignment, for the best breath? So just coming into our seated centering opening in whatever state of being you're in, and perhaps blinking the eyes closed or softly gazing down, whatever feels best. And just beginning to notice your body and the room around you. And maybe beginning to bring your awareness to the sensation of breathing. taking a breath in through the nose and out through the nose or mouth. Breathing in, breathing out, letting go. Breathing in, filling up the lungs. Breathing out, letting go of all the moments that led to this one. And just keeping your awareness trained on the breath as we find the present moment again and again with each breath, like waves crashing on a beach and receding and crashing again. Softly flowing in and out. If it's in your practice and you would like to practice Ujjayi breath this morning, to add a little bit of control over the breath, a little bit of extra presence and anchoring, a little bit of warmth for me, sometimes Ujjayi breath. You could do so just by lightly constricting the back of the throat and with the mouth closed, just creating that soft oceanic sound. We use the shape of the throat, kind of like we're fogging up a mirror, but we keep the mouth closed. And I'm not forcing this. I'm just allowing that breath to just gently sip in and out. And I might take 5 breaths, seeing how focused I can stay on each breath. Maybe one more breath. And then just sitting with some stillness for a moment and gazing into that space of the mind's eye. Is there something that you would like to create an intention surrounding today? I am motivated. I am present. Allowing those words to just kind of bubble up and taking these messages from the inner self and using our attention to help manifest them. Maybe you can repeat that intention internally. And then as you're ready, you might just blink the eyes open. You can release the block down if you've been using a block or pillow, whatever you have. And I love that Ujjayi breath as sort of a representation of the year of the tiger, right? This is the new year, year of the tiger, but it's a water tiger. So there's this flow to it, but there's this energy and this fierceness, like Ujjayi breath, victorious breath, right? It helps me stay anchored. So just thinking about that today, thinking about the qualities of water and the animal tiger and how I can kind of thematically sequence our practice today surrounding that. So let's go ahead and just tend to some of the usual areas where we hold stress, and that, a lot of you have said the neck exercises have been useful, where we then kind of, they become yoga as opposed to just a physical therapy exercise, is our attention, our awareness, our focus. And for me, that always means using the breath as a means to be present. And that Ujjayi breath could be useful for you. So we're just going to begin by tucking the chin towards the chest. And maybe inhale, lift the head up towards the ceiling. And we're just doing this slow, nodding your head yes. with the breath at the foreground. See if you can keep that breath moving in and out with the movement of your head. And maybe a total of, about 5 of these. Listening to the body. That's good. And welcoming you, Mary Clark. And then when you're ready, you could come to neutral. And I'm just going to turn my chin to the right side, turn my chin to the left side. Again, breathing with my movement. Staying present with the sensations. Noticing if my mind wants to tell me something about those sensations. And just coming back to the direct experience of sensation. So sometimes I'll move my body in a way, and then I'll notice my mind is saying, oh, that's not as far as you used to be able to go, and then I get down on myself, but instead I could, and I'm adding sort of suffering to my experience by allowing the thoughts to go there. So I'm just going to keep coming back to what this feels like, and now maybe tilting one ear towards one shoulder, other ear towards the other shoulder, and just trying to stay present with this, noticing where I feel this. And when I ask the question, does one side feel more or less challenging, I realize I'm sort of, casting judgment in a way. But it's really just something to notice so that we can improve range of motion, right? All right. Now I'm going to come back to neutral, and I'm going to bring my right arm out to the right with the palm facing away. We did this last week. I find it helpful. We're going to add something onto it. And then I'm going to tilt my left ear towards my left shoulder. We'll start to make some circles with my hand, waxing on. That's my reference to Karate Kid. And maybe waxing off, going the other direction. And then you might begin to bring the arm down a little bit lower. That's good. A little bit lower. And then our final position is just going to be tucking the arm behind the back like a wing, palm facing away from the body, and keeping that angle of the neck. And then I'm going to turn my chin towards my left shoulder and breathe into that upper right trapezoid or trapezius. What is it called? I can't remember right now. Oh my gosh, just breathing into the upper neck. Not getting distracted by anatomy right now. And then I'll release back to neutral. Okay, let's try the other side. I always feel quite a bit of sensation there. So bringing my left arm out to the left, tilting my right ear towards my right shoulder, and taking some circular motion. Right, so notice if your chin is dropping down. I want you to keep your chin, lift your chin up a little bit, Mimi. Yeah, the other way, right? So back to center. So we're just tilting the head, right? And go ahead and bring the arm down or go the other direction. And then when you're ready, tuck the wing behind the back, palm facing away, if that feels okay for you. And then turning the chin down and breathing into that upper left area, the upper left shoulder neck area. Good, and then we'll come back up to neutral and rub the hands together, create a little friction in the hands. We'll bring the arms down at the sides, maybe rolling the wrists on the way. And I'm going to take 10 arm salutes. Right? So notice if this is something that helps you kind of get present, get anchored, that this is something that will help you circulate the blood. And this might be the thing you take as your one little thing you want to take into the week with you. So inhaling the arms out and up. Exhaling the hands to heart center. We know that when we do this, we're moving the lymph fluid, so good immune boosting. And then when we connect the breath with the movement, and we get into this kind of flow state, That can be great for anxiety, for creating that meditative state. So you might even close your eyes and really notice the breath. Right, halfway there. Finding the breath. That's good. Moving at whatever pace feels right for you. Maybe one more. Good. Bringing the hands together at heart center. And just for a moment, close the eyes and hold in your mind's eye all of your fellow practitioners today and sending them good wishes and being open to receiving their good wishes. And just for a moment, kind of noticing that connection that we can make with each other in this space, whether you're here live or watching the recording. Very good. And then we'll just rub the hands together. And I'm going to take a little space between my legs and start to stir the pot. So moving in one direction, circling the torso in one direction. And if there's any movement that wants to come into the spine as well, such as arching or rounding the back, you might find that naturally happening. And you could come the other direction. Good, and then we'll come back to neutral. I place my right hand inside my right knee and lift the left arm up and maybe over. So I'm anchoring down through my sit bones and reaching my fingertips towards the sky. Good, and then we're going to come back and do that on the other side. Left hand inside the left knee, inhale the right arm up and maybe over a little bit. Anchor down through the sit bones. Really feel that length in the side body. So let's do that a couple more times, maybe a little faster. Breathing in, arm rise, stretch up and over, ground down. Good, release back to neutral. Breathing in, breathing out. Good. Inhale. Exhale. You could move at a different pace. We're going to do one more on each side. Side stretches. Such a good way to kind of energize. Good. And releasing back to center. I'll just walk my feet together for a moment and take some cat-cow stretches. So I'm just arching and rounding my back, and the arms are moving with me. So as I round the back, I'm straightening my arms. As I arch the back, I'm pulling my elbows back, right? And if you're caring for osteoporosis or osteopenia, you might not want to round as aggressively, right? Maybe it's more just a little kind of belly tuck in. Both feet on the earth. Maybe taking one or two more with the breath. And then we'll come back to neutral. And once again, open the legs back up. And I might lift my heels and lift my toes and bring some energy into the lower limbs. I love it. Yeah, and if you're somebody who, has a mat yoga practice and there's something you would rather be doing on the floor, you're totally invited to do that. All right, and then from here, I'm going to open my arms out to the side. So this is our goddess pose. I love goddess so much for its strength, right? And the strength for me comes with the core, right? So I'm pulling my core, my belly towards my spine and noticing my pelvic floor as well. I might even sort of lock the bathroom muscles. And then I'll bring my elbows back, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and release back to neutral. Good. Breathing in, shoulder squeeze, release. And we'll take one more like that. That's great. And then I'll give myself a hug and maybe take a little, break with any kind of pelvic work that I was doing. I might tuck my chin, breathing into the upper back. come back up and open the arms out again. This time I'm going to take a twist to the right and a twist to the left. And I'm really rooted down through my feet. My hips are cemented to my chair. And I'm noticing how much movement I can really create with my abdomen, with the torso. And this is where the spine can sort of rotate the most, is the middle of the back. And then we'll release back to neutral. Give yourself another hug, opposite arm on top, and tucking the chin. Big breath in. Thanking yourself for making this time today to take care of yourself. And then we'll release back to center, bring the feet back, and we're just going to kick one leg out at a time. Juice up the limbs, the lower limbs. Good. And then I might keep my right heel down and kind of pump the foot like I'm stepping on a gas pedal and then pulling the foot back. Stepping on that gas pedal and pulling the foot back a few times like that. You might hold and come on up. And this is great if you have swelling in the lower limbs. This is a really nice way to circulate the lymph and circulate the blood. And then you might switch sides when you're ready, pointing one toe down like you're stepping on a gas pedal and then pulling it back up, pointing and holding. And coming back up. Got yourself a little friend there, Judy. She's got her cat trying to jump up on her lap while she's doing yoga. Good, and welcoming you, Anne. We're just working with the lower limbs a little bit. Glad you could join us. And then I'll release back. And now, you have an option to keep the heel on the ground, or you could lift the leg up. And I'm going to create some circles with my ankle. Or if I wanted to really get fancy here, I might try to write my name with my toe, right? Writing my name as legibly as I can with my big toe. See how that works for you. Yeah. Heel could stay on the ground or the leg could be lifted. And then I'm going to try that with my other side. And I might notice that this is easier to do with my dominant side. So just staying present with the breath as we write our names with our toes on the other side. And then releasing back to neutral. And then I'm going to come to the back of my chair. Scooting back to the back of my chair. I'm going to try lifting both legs. Squeezing my legs together, zipping up my whole core, and bringing the arms out straight in front of me for our chair version of a boat pose. So taking 3 breaths here, you might breathe out the mouth on the exhalation. You might create a little lion's breath there. Good. One more breath. And then we'll release and come to the edge of the chair. Go ahead and rub the legs, the tops of the legs a little bit. Then I'm going to come to stand. If you have a way you like to stand that feels safe for you, please do that. Today, I might actually encourage seeing if you can come up incrementally. And this is pretty challenging, right? So I might bring my heels back a little bit, and maybe I'll bring my arms out as like a counterbalance and see if I could come up. I might come up and sit right back down. I might come up an inch and sit right back down. Notice what's happening to the knees. If they start to kind of crumble in, see if you can keep the knees straight out. And then I might try to get up and stay up and just take the elevator up nice and slow. Yeah. And if this isn't for you, that's okay. This is something we can work towards. So once you stand, come on and grab a little sip of water if you need it, or if you feel like staying seated today, that's okay too. Using your breath and using your core to stand. That's good. Come on around to the back of the chair when you're ready. That's good, Joe. Coming around to the back of the chair, we'll just take a moment to build a mountain pose. So take a peek down at the feet. Notice what they're up to. You might lift up the toes, spread them wide, plant them back down again. Draw the energy up from the earth. And you might close the eyes and just take 3 breaths here. Repeating your intention internally. Just staying present with what is. And then we'll begin to come up onto the tiptoes. So you can take your hand or both hands onto the back of the chair. Come up onto the tiptoes and release back down. This is great if you experience neuropathy. This could be a good, those ABCs of the toes and the foot pumps are great for neuropathy in the feet, and this is too. I know that a lot of us, just as we age, we lose some of the suppleness and dexterity in the feet and become challenged with balance. So just calf raises might be your little yoga snack you take. Doing 10 calf raises and noticing, is my weight just always going to the outside edge of my feet? Can I explore using that beautiful big toe and the ball underneath the big toe, because it's bigger for a reason. It's our propulsion system, right? You're playing with balance. You might take the hands all together off of the chair and see how that is. Just for you, it might be a shorter lift. All right, and maybe take one more. And release down. Okay, so I'm going to take a little wider stance, bring my arms out to the sides, and just twist to one side and the other side. Breathing in, breathing out. Letting the hips go with me, right? I'm not trying to cement my hips down. Trying to kind of stimulate my system here with these twists. Good, and then I'll release back to center. And I'm going to lift my right arm up and come up onto my right tiptoe and release back down. Notice I have a little bit of a wider stance. Inhale, left arm lift, left tiptoe, release down. Good, we're going to do this little flow. Inhale, lift, stretch, release. Inhale, lift, tiptoe, lift. Yeah, if you need the hand on the chair, that's great. Breathing in. Breathing out. Last one like this. Excellent. Now we're going to lift the right arm and come up onto that right tiptoe. Keeping the right arm lifted, slowly bring your right heel down. And feel that side body stretch, breathing into it. If it gets too much on the shoulder, that right shoulder, you can bring the hand on the hip. That's good. And then we're coming down nice and slow. Inhale, left arm lift, left tiptoe. Stay here with the arm and slowly bring the left heel down. Feel the length in your body. Big breath in and release. Good, now we're going to walk it out a little bit. All right, maybe you want to slow the walk down. So we're, pumping the lymph fluid here. We have these lymph nodes at all the parts of the body that fold pretty much. I like it. Sue's got a little opposite arm, opposite leg action. That's good, Mimi. Trying to keep ourselves motivated for February. Harnessing the energy of the water tiger who flows fiercely. All right, and now I'll come back to stand, and I'm going to bring my right foot forward, my left foot back. We're coming into a warrior 1 foot foundation. I might bend and straighten my right knee a few times. And then I'll bring my right knee to about above my ankle about. Notice what's happening with your lower back. Like a lot of us have lower back issues, and sometimes this can put pressure on the low back, so I'm just going to integrate by pulling my belly towards my spine. I'll lift my right arm straight out in front. I'll take a breath in, and as I exhale, I'm going to open and twist and bring my right arm behind me. And then I might just lift my arm up and over, back to the front, and then bringing my right arm back behind me. Good, up and over to the front, and then twisting to the right. Straight ahead, and opening. Doing whatever feels best. This is the last one. Maybe you stay with the twist for a moment, and then releasing back up to your mountain pose. If you like, you can take a sip of water, or if you are feeling energetic, you might take another walk, another cross-crawl walk. Right, so we know that the psoas, the hip flexors, are right here, and they're like this really big muscle that's used for so much in the body. It's even connected to breathing. But for actions like this, obviously we can feel the psoas working. A lot of the times the psoas gets tight because we sit, so it's good to move. And then our warrior one posture will stretch the psoas, right? So I'm going to bring my left foot forward, right foot back, bend and straighten into my left knee, and I feel this stretch right where we were just strengthening. I'm keeping my left knee bent. I'm going to lift my left arm up, straight out in front of me, and then take that twist to the left. Maybe the arm comes up and over, pointing straight ahead, twisting and opening to the left. You can make this arm movement whatever you want it to be, just looking to get a little twist with the breath, breathing at the foreground, of course. And you might take one or two more. And then as you're ready, make your way to downward facing dog, keeping the head lifted if you get dizzy, if you've got glaucoma. Lengthening the spine. Soft bend to the knees if the hamstrings are tight. Breathing into the upper back, lower back, middle back. Seeing if you can take 3 breaths here. And then slowly make your way up, coming around to the back of the chair. Actually, let's come around. I'm going to come to the side of my chair so I can show you something new that I learned from an exercise physiologist who was teaching a webinar on peripheral neuropathy, but I thought this was actually really challenging and great for anybody who wants to build balance. So what we're going to do is make sure you have your chair nearby. I'm going to take a little bendy bounce. I'll start to put the weight into my right foot, and all I'll do is I'll pick up my left leg. So it's like a little bit higher, and maintaining this long spine, and like I have a string coming up out of the top of my head, I'm going to sweep my left leg to the left and bring it back to neutral, right? Notice how this feels for you. I know that I want to kind of lean out as a counter pose, as a counter weight, but the challenge comes in kind of keeping myself right straight up and down. And I feel quite a lot of weight bearing in my right hip. So you can imagine, good for bone strengthening. And then I might switch it up. Okay, so a little bendy bounce between sides. Hold on to the chair if need be. Gonna put the weight in my left foot. Just pick my right leg up And so with this, it's really not about how far out you can go. It's how you can move without moving the rest of your body, right? So I'm not doing this. I'm just really carefully seeing if I can play with my balance here today a little bit. Toe points straight ahead. So yeah, those of us who maybe had some dance background might automatically want to bring the toe out to the side. See if you can keep the toe pointed to the front. And you're going to really feel a difference. Yeah, that's good, Judy. And then releasing from here and walking it out. So do you guys feel the work in the glutes and in the legs on that one? So nice, right? So now I'll come to the back of my chair with a little bit of a wider stance. The toes and the knees can point out a little bit like a wide-legged Charlie Chaplin, and I'll sink down into my knees and lift up a few times. So we're doing this goddess, standing goddess today. And I might keep my knees bent if that feels okay. Some of us are caring for knee issues. If that feels like too much, you can straighten the legs. Okay, I'm going to sink down into my knees, pull my belly towards my spine, maybe lock that root, right, the bathroom muscle. And if you felt safe doing so, you could lift both arms or one arm into our goddess arms. Then I'm going to inhale and straighten everything. Exhale, sink down. Like if you need the chair, use the chair. Good. Inhale, star pose. Exhale, sink down. And we'll do 2 more, breathing in. That's great, Denise. Exhale, sink down into the mud. Inhale, bloom. And exhale, sink. All right. Feel the strength in the legs and release back to neutral. I'm going to bring my feet a little closer. I might hold on to my chair to do this, or I might keep my hands at heart center. I'm going to take a little bend, and I'm going to lift one leg out to the side and then lift the other leg out to the side, right? So this might be, I need my chair for this, and this might be really a slow movement. You might not come up as far as I am, right? Or you might be feeling energetic today, and we're going to start winding down soon, but I wanted to get a little bit of energy into the body. Breathing. That's good. A lot of work, isn't it? All right. And then releasing. We'll take one more downward facing dog. You could do this at the wall. You could do this on your mat. You could do this on your chair. Finding a long spine and breathing into the back body, keeping that breath at the foreground. Maybe even sigh it out of the mouth. And then as you're ready, you might come on up nice and slow. We'll come around to the front of the chair. I'm in no hurry to sit down, right? So I might take my sip of water, reset, make any other movements the body's asking for. And then I'm going to challenge you to sit down as slowly as you can. If this is in your practice today, noticing the feet on the ground, making sure the chair is there, right? You can feel the chair at your back, or at your back of your knees. And you might swing the arms out and slowly sink the hips back. Right? If there's an area you get to and you're like, I just want to stay here and work, that's great. If your knees say no, just come on and make sure the chair's there, sit down. If you're ready to sit, go for it. And then here we go. Whee! You did it. Coming to sit. Nice, guys. So now I know I really need a stretch for my legs after that. I'm welcoming you, Larry. Glad you could come. We're kind of winding down, but you might want to, I'll try to get the recording out right away, okay? So I'm going to cross my right ankle over my left knee and maybe give myself a foot or even ankle massage if the ankle's feeling like it got some work today. I hope that it's all good over there, Leslie, yeah? Yeah, okay. And then sitting up nice and tall, I'll grab onto my shin or onto my knee. And exhale, reach the heart forward, hinging at the hip. Notice if your shoulders, like mine, have started to creep up by the ears. See if you can relax the shoulders, relax the jaw. Still breathing here. Keeping my spine nice and long. And then coming back up. We'll cross the knee over and we'll take a twist here. So we've done quite a few twists in our class today. Hopefully that'll stimulate digestion and help lubricate the spinal discs. We're going to take a twist to the right and bring the arms down to support the twist. You might peek over the right shoulder, or this might be all about what's happening in the torso. Finding the breath, sitting up tall, exhale, squeeze a little deeper. And then we'll release gently back to center. And try these same two things on the other side. So crossing that left ankle over the right knee, foot is flexed as I take a little foot massage if my foot's available today. Yeah, it's good. Giving the feet a little love. And then we'll grab onto that shin, onto that knee, whatever's available. Sit up tall, breath in. Exhale, reach the heart forward, long spine, shoulders relaxed. Find your breath and bring your awareness to the sensation you're experiencing. Without making any judgments on it, just being there with the sensation. And then releasing back to center and neutral. Cross the knee over, arms out to the sides. Big breath in. Exhale, twist to the left. Release the hands down. Stay in your tall twist. I hope that you'll think of this using the abdomen as you're changing lanes the next time you're driving. So instead of whipping your head around, use the body. Release back to center. And then I'll take a big stretch. I might take my block underneath my feet, grab a blanket or pillow if you have one. If you're feeling like you still have energy and you want to move around a bit more, listening to the body. So I'm going to bring the soles of my feet together. The knees can drift apart. And I'm at the edge of my chair. Then I might go ahead and come into Jnana Mudra, which is kind of like an okay sign. I've folded the first finger next to my thumb, and I'm going to rest my palms to face up. So this mudra is really about bringing together individual consciousness with divine consciousness, or I guess source, some people would call it. So as I sit, I might notice my roots. I might allow my mind to scan my body and notice any effects from our practice. Keeping my hands in this shape also keeps me present, keeps me focused. I can't fully let go here. I'm staying present with this feeling. And then I might find my breath, breathing in Breathing out. Breathing in through the nose, out through the nose or mouth. Finding what feels like the right pace for my breath. We're going to begin to practice equal parts breath. Some call it balancing breath or 1-to-1 ratio. So discovering for you what is a comfortable inhale and what is a comfortable exhale, and seeing if you can bring some equilibrium to the in and out breath. So some people like to start at a count of 3 or move to 4 or 5. So I might inhale 2, 3, exhale 2, 3. Breathing in 2, 3. Breathing out 2, 3. And inhaling and exhaling and continuing to breathe at whatever pace feels right. Equal part in, equal part out. You can count internally to yourself. Letting the belly expand and relax. Staying present with the breath. Seeing if you can take 5 breaths. Maybe one more breath. Good, and then we'll release out of this position. Come to plant the feet on the ground. Maybe you'd even like to take the block or pillow behind the back. I've really been enjoying placing a blanket or a pillow across the lap during meditation. It's just this nice support, keeps me comfy. But I'm still upright, so finding a posture that feels relaxed, but one where you can remain aware. And beginning to notice the body again in space. We're going to bring our awareness to the top of the head. Notice any sensations in the forehead. Move your awareness down to the eyebrows, the eyeballs, the muscles surrounding the eyes. See if you can notice any sensation in the cheeks, in the nose, in the jaw. Is there any clenching in the jaw? Moving your awareness to your lips and the chin. And drawing the attention back up to the top of your head, just traveling down the back of the skull to the occipital ridge. Seeing if you can notice any sensation in the neck, any pulling or knots there. And whatever you do find, try to stay present with the sensation. If the mind begins to tell you something about that sensation, just coming back to the direct sensation as we move our awareness back up to the top of the head one last time, traveling down the sides of the head to the temples. What can you notice there? And maybe there's no sensation, and that's something to notice as well as we move down to the ears, the sides of the neck, moving down to both shoulders, and the whole length of the arms down to the hands. Noticing any sensation in the arms. And now the hands, the backs of the hands. Observing the palms. Maybe the temperature is, are the palms warm? And then noticing each individual finger and the space around the fingers. Moving your awareness to the back of the neck, the area between the shoulder blades, the middle back, and the lower back. Is there any tenderness there? Coming back up to the throat, noticing any sensation in the throat. Staying present with sensation traveling now to the chest, the rib cage, the belly. Is there any clenching or holding of the belly or pelvic floor? Traveling your awareness to your seat and hips, down both thighs, noticing both knees, feeling the lower limbs, the calves and shins and ankles, observing sensation in the feet, the tops of the feet, and the bottoms of the feet, soles of the feet. Noticing all 10 toes, each individual toe, and the space between the toes. And then beginning to draw your awareness back to the whole entire body. Feeling the whole entire body in space in the room that you're in. Noticing the breath and the space within as you breathe in, breathe out. And perhaps as we gaze into the space of the mind, repeating your intention here, whatever it may be. If you're working with, I am motivated, or I am present. Or perhaps just allowing yourself to fill up with acknowledgement of these skills you're developing, of the practice of self-care, of making the time. And finally, just visualizing yourself doing something kind for yourself today, in the rest of today. Taking this flowing fierceness with you into the rest of your day. And when you're ready, coming back into the breath and body and bringing the hands to heart center. Feeling the connection of the palms and feeling the connection of our fellow practitioners, sending good wishes back and forth between us. And we'll close our session today with the sound and vibration of one single Om. Breathing in for Om if it's your practice. Thanking you so much for your presence and your practice today. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining. We'll see you again soon.